Cardinal baseball on FSN as the Padres and Cardinals wrap up the season series. The Padres looking for the sweep over the Cardinals. The magic number for St. Louis still stands at 5. The big question around town, is this team tight? Can they win a game? They're trying to avoid another 8-game losing streak. It would be their third this season. That's hard to believe. Al Hrabosky, Dan McLaughlin with you, and welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. So, you being a former player, is this team tight right now? How do you think they approach this game?
Well, they don't want to be known as a tight team, and you just go out there and you just relax. They still have their destiny is in their hands. So, I mean, if they go out and win ball games, it's all over. They can control their future.
Well, let's take a look at what's left for all the teams in the Central that are still alive. Of course, the Cardinals conceivably could have 6 games to go because of the makeup date with San Francisco. Pittsburgh is hosting Houston tonight, and they lead that game 2-1. Cincinnati trailing at Florida, and the Reds still alive as well. They've got 2 left with Florida and 3 at Pittsburgh, but the road for Houston not easy when you go down to Atlanta.
Well, yeah, they're on the road. The whole thing is you might get some help, but don't count on it. Just go out there and take care of your own business. And I'll guarantee you, if they stop this losing streaks follow streaks. Cardinals stop this 7-game losing streak. They win a couple games, then you'll see the pressure being on the other 2.
Matchup should be fun as far as pitching tonight. For San Diego, Chris Young, who's had a breakout season, and Anthony Reyes for the Cardinals. We'll talk about this matchup when we come back. It's Cardinal baseball on FSN. Another sellout crowd expected here at downtown St. Louis and Busch Stadium as the Cardinals look to avoid the sweep against the San Diego Padres. Chris Young and Anthony Reyes tonight. Now, when you talk about young pitchers in the National League, these 2 are at the top of the list. I mean, 2 guys that have pitched well at times this season.
Well, Reyes is very promising, and Young has been outstanding, winning 11 games. 3 times he's taken a no-hitter into the second half of a game. The one thing that's concerning is Anthony is really that 5-6 inning pitcher who's going to finish the game for the Cardinals.
That's a look at your Ford Key matchup. When we come back, we'll take a look at one of the best games of the season involving the Padres. A game they'd like to forget. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. I'm Joel Goldberg. The Padres are red hot, but no one would have predicted it back on September 18th because they had the most unlikely of games, up 4 in the bottom of the 9th against the Dodgers. Jeff Kent goes deep, solo home run, 9-6. Next batter, former Cardinal J.D. Drew, solo home run, 9-7. Next batter, catcher Russell Martin, solo home run, 9-8. And next batter, you guessed it, former Cardinal Marlon Anderson, solo home run, 9-9. The Padres did score in the 10th, and then in the bottom of the 10th, 1 on, Nomar Garciaparra. No way. The Dodgers win it 11-10. How in the heck did they do that? But since then, the Padres are 7-1, been playing great baseball and in first place. The Dodgers been doing okay as well, 4-3. Good for the wild card lead right now. So you never know what's going to happen in the sport of baseball. The Cardinals just hoping they can end this 7-game losing streak. More coming up after this.
Cardinal baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser. This is beer. By Auto Tire, the tire pros. For the lowest bottom line price, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Looks like the rain is going to stay away. It's a pleasant night here at Busch Stadium. Glad you're with us as the Cardinals look to avoid the sweep against San Diego. Dave Roberts will lead it off. He's had a good series, hitting .294 on the year, a couple of home runs, 42 driven in. The first pitch is taken low. How about a win tonight, Al? Wouldn't that be nice?
I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Pittsburgh has added to their lead. It's now 3-1. Numbers on Anthony Reyes as he falls behind 2-0. Those are brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts, a record of 5-7.
Working on 8 days rest, sometimes that affects your control.
This San Diego team has played outstanding baseball since August 20th. They're 24-10, and they have won 6 straight.
I didn't want to tell you, but when I was down on the field, it was starting to rain, and it's raining a little harder. As soon as you said What a great night.
I'll just go ahead and blame me. Whatever.
I'm going to blame you.
Pipe down over there, Raboski. I'm worried about what's going on the field. We're talking about a win tonight, all right?
And that's why I'm not worried about what's going on in the field. Cardinals going to take care of business themselves.
3 balls and a strike on Roberts. I can call him, can't I? Full count on Dave Roberts. Keep him off the bases with his good speed.
46 steals. New career high for Dave, and he is really a catalyst to this offense, which is chugging along pretty good.
The 3-2 pitch is taken outside for a ball. And let's take a look at the San Diego lineup tonight. Just saw Roberts and now Termel Sledge. And Walker back in there at second base. He started at third in game 1. Piazza is the cleanup man. Then Gonzalez, Cameron, Branyan, Blum, and Young. 15 seasons for Mike Piazza in the major leagues, and great numbers.
You look at some of the trades that the Padres have made. You see some pretty darn good trades, one-sided trades.
How about this with Sledge and Young and Gonzalez?
These ones I'm talking about.
Adam Eaton. I mean, that's a great deal, and you're going to see all 3 on display tonight for San Diego.
Josh Bard and Meredith for Mirabelli, who hit 170 or so for the Padres and about 170 for the Red Sox.
So Molina out to visit with Reyes. Just let him settle in.
Well, like I said, you know, when you 8 days rest, you know, it's you're normally pitching on the 5th day, so you try and get there and find your command.
The bullpen tonight with Sosa and Hancock, Flores, Looper, Thompson, Wainwright. We saw him last night. Josh Kinney, who was very good in game 1. Narveson and Tyler Johnson. Changeup, good pitch.
Who's going to be the hero out of that bullpen tonight?
And we're going to find out, as you mentioned. I mean, Anthony Reyes, looking at what he's done in the major leagues this season, has not gone deep into games. Cardinals have really protected him in that regard as far as how many innings he has thrown. So expect to see the bullpen at some point tonight.
6 quality innings would be pretty much his limit.
If the Cardinals can get to postseason play, Anthony Reyes' name will be thrown out there as a potential starter. And at this point, you don't know what game, because the Cardinals have not wrapped up a spot.
A lot of that hinges what they do the next 3 to 4 days. See if they need Carpenter on Sunday, or would you hold him back for Monday? You almost have to win Sunday to get to Monday, though.
Tony La Russa has been so upbeat the last few days, and on the field tonight he was visiting with Woody Williams and Barry Weinberg. That's fouled out of play as Roberts was off with the pitch. And I'm telling you, Al, I mean, and I know you've had a chance to visit with Tony too. He was in great spirits. He was loose, actually.
I talked to him right before he went over and was making his way, and then I saw you and Barry talking to him. But you know, it's just common sense that every one of the Cardinal players are looking to the leadership of Tony La Russa. So if he starts showing any panic or cracking, then they're going to follow suit. So that's the reason why he has gone out of his way to praise his players, the hard work, all the what they're putting in there, and it'll change, guys. The luck will change.
Runner goes, a swing and a miss, and safe. Looked like he got him, and Roberts has another stolen base, number 47. And that's 4 in this series for Dave Roberts. I thought Molina got him.
I thought he did too, and Brian Gorman, the second base umpire, stuck his nose right in there. Good off-speed pitch, the strong throw from Molina, and it looked like he got him, but you see Gorman, and he held the call. There were, a lot of times you think when he holds like that and not makes a call, he's looking to see if the ball falls out of the glove. That was not the case, maybe because he missed the arm and got the body.
Almost looked like that Miles had the base blocked too, but umpire was in a good position, made the call. Here's Todd Walker, the former Cub. San Diego picked him up at the trade deadline primarily to play third base, and tonight he's at his natural position, which is second. Not a great defensive player, but this guy can hit. 280 on the season, 9 home runs. He's driven in 53.
The reason we thought that he was going to be out is it looked like the throw beat him. But watch Miles' tag. He misses the arm and doesn't really apply it until he gets the hip on the left side. And as you said, he kind of blocked the inside, so Roberts slid to the outfield side.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Out to deep left field. That'll stay in the ballpark. Spezio back to make the catch, and Roberts will stay at second base. 2 outs. Let's look at the Cardinals defensively. Brought to you by Auto Tires. Spezio, we see him in left, Edmonds in center again, and Duncan in right. Roland, Miles, Belliard, and Pujols along the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Reyes 9 strikeouts in his last start.
Struck out 20 in his last 14 innings of work. For a Southern California kid to face Mike Piazza, that's always a thrill.
Strike 2, Piazza.
We saw Roberts steal a base the other night, and Reyes better pay a little attention to him. There are 2 outs, and if he steals third, you can't go any further if you get the hitter, but still you have to pay attention to the runner at second.
The way things have played out this series, why not take third if you get the chance? Because wild pitch, pass ball, who knows? It's been tough luck along the way during this losing streak as well. Remember when Piazza was hitting the head at the old Busch Stadium? Julian Tavares drilled him. Tony La Russa was not pleased, to say the least, about what transpired with Mike Piazza. He's wearing the Met uniform at that time. That's 2 balls and a strike. How important is it, Al, to put up a 0 here in this first inning? You know, set the tone.
Very important. And then to follow it with about 8 more. But as the time goes on, we'll talk a little bit about the 7th inning. That's another hump inning that the Cardinals got to figure out a way to get through.
There's a 2-1 pitch, and Piazza swings and misses. 2-2.
Mike has set a franchise record for home runs by a San Diego Padre catcher at 22. And that's the most that he's had in a couple years, since he had 33 with the Mets in 2002.
And time is called again.
Trying to get together with Molina. Now Reyes has an excellent changeup.
And not afraid to throw it at any time in the count. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Piazza fouls it away. And the Cardinals, despite all the problems this season, have led the National League Central Division for 117 consecutive days. That includes 2 8-game losing streaks and now this current 7-game losing streak.
5 more victories in the regular season, and everyone's going to laugh about the troubles the Cardinals had closing out the division.
The 2-2, and Piazza pulls it foul.
Good pitch, gain up and in on there, where one thing he could do is turn on it. Pitchers have to be very much aware that Piazza has phenomenal power to the opposite field.
Twenty pitches thrown by Reyes here in the first, and here comes a 2-2 pitch to Mike Piazza. Up the middle, that's a base hit. Here comes Roberts. He'll be waved in, and San Diego leads it 1-0. Mike Piazza with his 67th RBI. And the future Hall of Famer makes it 1-0. Good at bat here by Piazza. Fouled off a couple of pitches and takes that outside delivery up the middle.
Yep, outside and up the middle. Miles had no chance. Edmonds no chance. And of course, the skipper trying to put up zeros, and that would relax the club a little bit, not having to battle back.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez. They picked him up in the deal with Adam Eaton. What a trade this has turned out to be for San Diego. Top of the 5th now. Pittsburgh leading 3-1 over Houston. Cincinnati trailing in their ball game. It's 3-1, top of the 4th. That magic number could be reduced even if the Cardinals would lose. But they need a little help. What a player he has turned out to be, though, is Gonzalez. Good defensive first baseman. 24 home runs. He's driven in 80. They weren't sure what kind of player they were getting. They thought he'd be good, but not this good.
Well, and then you also got Chris Young, tonight's starter in that deal, Sledge. I mean, it made some great deals, and you got to compliment that front office for trading quality players but getting better return.
San Diego against the National League Central Division. Bruce Bochy has owned it this year. They're 26-11 against the Central, and that's the best record in the National League against the Central Division. Changeup misses in, and it's 3-1. After tonight's game, San Diego will fly to Arizona, and they'll finish up with 4 against the Diamondbacks. Cardinals will welcome Milwaukee to town tomorrow night. This will be pitch number 26 on its way from Reyes here in the first. The 3-1 is hit out to right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, cut off by Duncan, and Piazza stops at second. So a walk to start the game that comes around to score. A pair of base hits, and not the start that Tony La Russa envisioned for Reyes.
Now, the good thing is you hope when you had 8 days between starts or 8 days of rest that you get out of this first inning and you kind of regroup and come out there and throwing some zeros, but getting out of the first inning.
Big hit in the ball game last night, delivered by this man, Mike Cameron. 0-2 pitch by Carpenter, and he delivered. Scored 2 runs, the difference in the game. A fastball and a strike at 89 miles an hour. No race in the minor leagues, Al, could get it up there to 93, 94. At times he was clocked at 95, and we really haven't seen that, though, here in the major leagues. For whatever reason.
You know, you could say that it's the difference in the radar guns, but the one thing is when he's down there, he attacks the strike zone. He's very aggressive, and here he is picking again.
Looks like the Padres are headed to postseason play. They're now a season high 13 games above the 500 mark after last night's win. And they have played very well on the road. The Padres have 42 road wins, and that's second in the National League behind the Mets. They have 43. It's the 7th most in franchise history. 1-1 pitch by Reyes. Fouled straight back, and Cameron was right on the pitch. It looked to be right down the middle. One thing I'm noticing here in the first is, you know, Reyes just is not aggressive.
Not aggressive at all. And for whatever reason, it just seems like he's aggressive in the minor leagues, but then whether he's giving major league hitters too much credit or trying to finesse out there, and Dave will tell you, you know, what does he say about Soup? What turned him around? Aggressive in the strike zone.
Right. Runners at first and second, and here comes a 1-2 pitch. Got him. On the outside corner, a strikeout of Cameron. 2 in the inning for Reyes. He allows the first inning run. The Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. It's 1-0 San Diego. All right, the Hall of Famer's going to bring us some luck tonight. That's Lou Brock down there. The Cardinals trail by the score of 1-0. Here's their lineup. Miles, Duncan, and Pujols. The cleanup man tonight is Spezio. 4 home runs this month. Then Roland, who's struggling. Edmonds, Belliard, Molina, and Reyes. On the bench tonight, Preston Wilson with Vizcaíno, Bennett, Encarnacion, Rose, Rodriguez, Schumacher, Nelson, and Sotaguchi. This guy is good. He is tall. He doesn't throw that hard, though. He's about 6'10", they say. That's what he's listed at. And he's had a great year. Chris Young.
Opponents are just batting .209 against him, the best in the National League. He's 6-0 with a 2.50 ERA and 14 road starts this year, and 9-0 with 14 no decisions last 23 starts on the road dating back to last June.
His numbers brought to you by Rico. Paul Lusk and Quanzo Martin are in our booth. They'd lick their chops to see this guy in a basketball uniform. Not Miles, the guy on the mound.
No, well, he was a star at Princeton as a basketball player and baseball
That's
player.
right. And a ground out, and Miles retired.
And a little reference to the NHL, too.
Let's take a look at the Padres defense tonight. Around the Horn brought to you by Auto Tire. Dave Roberts in left and Cameron in center. Sledge is in right. Branyan, Blum, Walker, and Gonzalez along the infield. As I mentioned before, Todd Walker at second base tonight. And Mike Piazza behind the plate. Duncan homered in game 1 of this series, fouls one away.
Remember NHL's former Patrick Division?
Sure.
That was named after his wife's grandfather. Married to Liz Patrick.
So graphically, we take a look at the Padres defensively. 14 road starts, and look at the record for Chris Young. Perfect at 6-0. That's pulled foul.
You know, here's another amazing stat about him. Is I said that opponents are batting just .208 against him, the best in the National League, but lefties are batting .181. Righties .234, 6'10", doesn't throw hard, pitches up in the zone, but he has a short arm and a little deception.
Swing and a miss by Duncan, and it brings in Pujols. One of the things that they talk about with this delivery, Al, is that, and you mentioned it, the deception, but they feel his glove hides his throwing hand. Let's take a look.
It's exactly right. He short arms the ball when he comes up a little bit higher. All right, now watch the arm, how it catches, but the glove, sometimes he will throw the glove at you and your eyes react to the glove, and then the arm follows. And you don't pick up the ball until it's well upon you, and then when he's standing 6'10" on top of the mound, he feels like he's already out there reaching out and touching you anyway.
Doesn't make it any easier with how tall he is. It's coming right at you. Numbers on Pujols, another great year. .330, 46 home runs, and a career high that has been matched in the RBI department at 130. 0-2 pitch. Got him. Pujols strikes out. He strikes out 2. It's 1-0 after 1 here in St. Louis. San Diego leads it by the score of 1-0, and we take a look at the singular wireless question: who should be National League Rookie of the Year? Chris Duncan, who's had a great second half, Prince fielder, Dan Uggla of Florida, Ryan Zimmerman of Washington, who has picked it up again, or somebody else that comes to mind at 42957 to text your vote. That's brought to you by Singular Wireless. Curveball is lifted out to left field. Long way to go for Spezio, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Branyan will wind up at second base. It has been that kind of week for the Cardinals, where it just drops in and everything just seems to find a hole against him.
It's been amazing, though, hasn't it? It's a long run for Spezio. Comes up here, try to grab it barehanded. They have ruled no error to this point. And I guess a single and an error now, according to Tim Garcia, but not put on the scoreboard.
So Tim has become the official scorer of FSN.
I'll take his word for it. I agree with the call.
I do too. Jeff Blum, shortstop that's hitting .255. Khalil Green has been out. Blum has filled in nicely.
Blum kind of a utility guy, but with Green, who's one of the most exciting young players, out with a dislocated or a tendon problem in his hand. Blum getting a lot of playing time and doing a good job.
Here comes a 2-0 pitch by Reyes. Fouled back. 2 updates for you, and here they come. The first one, that's good to see. Bottom of the 5th, and Pittsburgh leading 6-1. And Cincinnati has picked up a run to get a little closer. It's 3-2, top of the 5th.
It's nice to have help, but don't expect it. Take care of your own business.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch. On its way to Blum. And he smokes one out to left center field, but Spezio is going to be there. Well, Spezio hasn't played a lot prior to this season in the outfield and just trying to get used to it, but he's done fine out there. Mostly his time spent as an infielder, in particular a second baseman.
Right, he's played a couple years at third, a couple years at second, a couple years at first, and as you said, you could put him out in the outfield, but you want his bat in the lineup.
Here's Young. Hitting 135 with no home runs and 4 RBIs on the season.
3 times this year he's taken a no-hitter for at least 6 innings, including the last time he was into the 9th inning.
They say that Woody Williams has had a huge impact on his career.
You know, and well, Woody is that consummate professional. Young pitchers learn from Carpenter here, but that's a great example. Learn from Woody. And one of the influences I can see is he pitches away a lot. He has the ability to pitch up in the zone like Woody.
That's the one thing that stood out. Yeah.
Neither one of them throw particularly hard. Don't give in to hitters. You know, attack the zone.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Reyes to Young. And that's the one thing that they said, it was very similar on the field, like Woody Williams, pitching up with success in the zone.
Not all can do it. And remember, many people believe that Reyes is that type of pitcher. One of the few that can.
2-1 is hit back to Reyes, and he's got to play at third. A rundown. Miles applies the tag, and he's out. So
Good
they get the lead man, and last night it was a botched rundown, but they got away with it. Tonight, much better. Spring training will be here before you know it, and it's time to talk about that barbecue with the skipper and his players down in Jupiter, Florida. You'll see a game and then enjoy a barbecue with Tony La Russa and the players. You can find out more at springtrainingtours.com or call 1-800-8-WARM-UP.
Participated in a couple of those last year with Tony and bring over about 8 or 9 different players and have a great barbecue, and then it's all answers and questions and answers, and you know how candid and forthright he is.
I've done a bunch of the banquets and had a chance to MC when he's there, and he's outstanding. Pitcher at first, they'll play behind Young with a left-handed batter and Dave Roberts. Let's get this guy off the bases. I mean, he has been all over the place, it seems like, in the first 2 nights of this series.
Well, I think you used the word pest last night, and you meant that in a most favorable way. But that's what he is. He gets on the bases and drives you crazy.
He's had a very, very good year.
And he knows how to hit to get on base.
Scott rolling in on the grass at third. That's a strike. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Much more aggressive, it seems like, here in this at bat and also in the previous at bats with Blum and Branyan.
Well, I think that it's part of what we talked about in the first inning. You know, you hadn't pitched for 8 days. You're trying to get your feet wet. Now you've got your adrenaline going, and now you attack.
See if he goes with the changeup here. It is, and it's hit out to center field. Edmonds coming on. Jimmy's got it. Shallow center field, and he comes up with the catch. Cardinals have Spezio rolling, and Edmonds due up, and they trail by the score of 1-0. This State in Baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. Cleveland's Napoleon LaJoie doubles against the Yankees for his 3,000th career hit. back in 1914.
He did it with one arm in his jersey.
Just you think about guys in the 3,000 hit club, and I mean Napoleon LaJoie just rolls off your tongue.
Yeah.
I mean that's.
You notice how Tim Garcia, our official scorer, still maintains there's an error up there. Sergeant Spezio, but he's the official scorer, so don't let the scoreboard on the field deceive you.
So you're going to go against the official scorer tonight, Tim? Is that the case?
Oh, he is the official scorer, like you said,
on FSN.
And we agree with him because for once he's done something correctly. Sorry, Scott, but you got an error.
According to Tim. Now, according to our official scorer here at the ballpark, no error, and it's a double for Branyan.
Well, it could be an error on the scoreboard operators.
Well, that could happen too.
That's what Tim is maintaining.
Spezio is batting cleanup tonight. Young struck out 2 in the first inning, including Pujols looking. Went right after him. A lot of people talking about late in the game last night with Carpenter, and should he have stayed in the game. And after reviewing it and talking with people at the ballpark, it's almost 50-50. Some people felt that he should have stayed in, and others felt, you go to the bullpen.
Well, Tony La Russa's third in the all-time win list. I thought he should go with his ace.
I did too.
And we said it, in the 7th inning, not second guessing what was going to happen. And Wainwright is not pitching the same way he did earlier in the season. He's going to be the closer in tonight's ball game, so Tony has extreme confidence in him. But that's his horse that's out there on the mound.
And Young has struck out 3 of the first 4 he has seen, and 3 in a row.
Well, he struck out as many as 12 in a ball game. That was against Florida. And now he has 3 in a row, as you said, and another pitch that's up in the zone.
When the Cardinals had the previous 8-game losing streaks, neither Houston or Cincinnati could gain much ground, but that's a different story here in September. Looking back at June 20th through the 27th, Cardinals 0-8. Houston went 2-6, Cincinnati 3-4. Then in late July, the Cardinals lose 8 straight. Houston plays 500 baseball. Cincinnati 3-5. But this has been a difference. Here in September, the Cardinals 7 straight losses, Houston 7 straight wins, and Houston 4-2. So those other 2 teams have played much better.
Another difference is the way Rolen is struggling right now.
No doubt about it.
There you go.
Lines to right, and it's caught.
Even though it's caught, at least he hit the ball hard. Pulling off pitches, and he wants to be out there.
Here's Edmonds, who's had a good series with 5 RBIs. And it's good to see him playing back-to-back games.
Well, this time of year, and his situation a lot different with a post-concussion syndrome, because everyone is tired, everyone is hurt. On both teams, they're banged up. But there is no tomorrow. Literally there is, but figuratively there's not much beyond tomorrow.
Well, for the Cardinals, a guy like Edmonds, and you mentioned it, his situation much different than others, and guys that are banged up. I mean, it's a situation where he could wake up and feel terrible the next day. You just don't know what you're going to get day to day.
We all know Jimmy has made a difference. On defense, that ball would have fallen through with any other Cardinal center fielder that he caught to end the last inning. And his bat, when it's alive, is one of the most productive in the game.
First pitch strikes, 6 of 6 for Young. And Anthony Reyes, by the way, 4 of 10. First pitch strikes. And the count goes to 3-1.
Got the slider that he can throw to both sides of the plate. You saw the slower curveball and changeup.
Strike on the outside corner, full count on Edmonds.
And that last delivery, and you can really seems like you see the hesitation more on the fastball. which makes it that much tougher to gauge the velocity on it, where you see the stop and go in the short arm.
Fouled away by Jimmy. Edmonds with 19 home runs and 70 RBIs despite missing considerable time, and he's hit .264 this year. Lamb with an RBI double to cut the lead to 6-2, top of the 6th. Edmonds slices one and foul. Update with Cincinnati as well. It's now 4-2, bottom of the 5th. So the Florida Marlins pick up a run.
Florida Cardinals have a magic number of 4 over Cincinnati and 5 for Houston.
Could be Joe Girardi's final days as a Marlins manager.
That, to me, is a major mistake.
He's got 2 more years left on his contract. The 3-2 pitch.
And wisely, he's not going to resign.
Looked like a high strike and maybe inside, and Edmonds is called out. And Young has already struck out 4.
Let's take the split screen, but really concentrate on the right side. Now watch Chris Young when he gets in his windup. Think about a left-handed batter. Where does he see the ball? He can't see any part of the ball. He hides it so well. It's back there, and then he has that little hesitation, and then he comes up there. That was a changeup on that pitch, but it seems like you really see the pronounced short arm when he throws the fastball. And you see the little separation, the little pause, and that is the pitch that's really freezing the hitters.
Here's Sledge. First pitch is strike by Reyes. And that is strike 2, 0-2. Obviously, the Cardinals aren't picking it up very well. He's already struck out 4.
Well, obviously, nobody really in the National League has picked it up much either.
Trying to go inside, and it's slapped foul. Fayetteville, North Carolina, Termel Sledge. He was with Montreal, then Washington, and now San Diego. And here comes Houston. Lance Berkman with a home run. They're going to make that thing interesting before the night is through. Top of the 6th, and it's 6-4. And Chacon, the starter for the Pirates, has been knocked out of that game. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Sledge had a injury-plagued season last year, only played 20 games. Right hamstring injury, had to have surgery and was out for the year. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Reyes. Looked like a changeup. Sledge has struck out a couple of times, and that's 3 on the night for Anthony.
So Molina with the glove down, and there's a changeup, and also, you know, good location coming down, a little bit of movement, tailing away from the hitter.
And it brings in Todd Walker. Strike 1. You can see why San Diego could be a very tough matchup if they get to postseason play. And it looks like they will.
We haven't seen Jake Peavy.
Right. And Woody's pitching much better as of late. And they've got Young, of course. That's a single up the middle for Todd Walker, and it brings in Piazza.
David Wells, when his right foot doesn't have the gout.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. Here's Piazza. Fastball and a strike.
One of 8 active players with at least 2,000 hits and 400 home runs.
12-time All-Star. Major League home run leader as a catcher. Oh. Piazza hits the deck. To the backstop it goes. A wild pitch. And Walker winds up at second base, and apparently that did not hit Piazza.
No, he had a better chance of hitting the bat over his head than it does. Ball just gets away and takes off right behind him. And lucky he didn't spin backwards and have that hit him in the back of the helmet. But we were talking about earlier, Tavares and Clemens. Just a pitch got away, but put the man in scoring position with one out.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Runner in scoring position. Piazza has the RBI tonight. Reyes just at times tonight, even though it's early, hasn't looked very comfortable.
All right, Skipper, who you want to go to?
Keep the guy out there that we got right now for a while. Then come and ask me. Let's see what happens. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Bounced in the dirt again. This crowd, and it's been this way since we got back, but they have been restless. They have been frustrated. They have voiced their frustration, and at times it's been just eerily quiet inside this building.
They've wanted to cheer, but at times they've been forced to stay quiet.
The 3-1 pitch to Mike Piazza on its way. And he walked him. Second walk handed out by Reyes. Runners at first and second, and it brings in Gonzalez. Emergence of Gonzalez has given Piazza some pitches to hit.
And I don't think the Padres mind if he has walked ahead of Gonzalez, because he's been so productive with his team leading 24 home runs. He's got 80 RBIs. One more than Cameron.
So 1 out, runners at first and second. Padres already lead it 1-0. Another pitch in the dirt. And here comes Molina. The second time tonight to have a conversation with Anthony Reyes.
Many times when Molina goes out, it's sort of a one. He's going to try and get him back throwing strikes, but 2 is going over. Is like, here's the sky report. This is how we said to retire this batter.
We will have updates throughout the night on the other 2 games with Cincinnati and Houston.
You know, I was always told that you go with your best. You know, if your best matches up with the strength of the hitter, you still believe in your stuff. And a lot of guys today, you know, if it calls for, okay, you need to call for a breaking ball here or do this here, they will go with secondary pitches and a lot of times get burned.
First and second. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Reyes needs a double play right here. Cardinals among the league leaders in double plays turned.
It's kind of a misleading stat. In order to do that, you have to allow a lot of base runners.
Right. Padres in the first 2 innings stranded 3. They've already picked up 4 hits. A couple of walks against Reyes. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled back. These 2 teams met back in 1996 postseason play, and again last season. Cardinals have won both those series. Here come the Astros. It's now 6-5. How about a double play? Miles, Belliard, got him. Double play. 6-4-3 on the double play. Coming up later tonight from around the world of sports, you will see the FSN final score. It's tonight at 11:30. All the scores, all the highlights coming up later tonight. Padres lead it by the score of 1-0. Chris Young has looked terrific. He's been under the guidance of Woody Williams this season. Woody, at the age of 40, was saying before the game, Al, that he wants to have at least one more year. He'd like to come back and pitch in the major leagues.
It's 11-5. Why not?
Sure.
Woody, Ryan Klesko, and Jake Peavy all have collectively bought some land in Union, Missouri, about 750 acres. Woody hadn't seen it yet, but the other two have.
Here's Belliard. 2 home runs last night.
We got a way to get us out of this slump, don't we?
Got a grandpa, not mine, not yours, celebrating his 101st birthday today. He lives in Scott City, never misses a game on television. He grew up a Cardinal fan in Chester, Illinois, and followed the Cardinals ever since. Happy 101st birthday to Les Gray.
So, I mean, if somebody turns 101 today, you got to get them a Cardinal victory. That'll end the slump and propel us all the way through.
That's from Ann Hollenberg. Belliard with a base hit. First hit for the Cardinals tonight. Wide turnaround first, and it's a leadoff base hit to start the bottom of the third.
See, we talk about Les's birthday, and all of a sudden we get our first hit.
There goes a no-hitter, Al. So
there goes a no-hitter. Belliard had a couple home runs last night. Now he gets the Cardinals' first hit. Let's see if we can't drive him in. See if the bottom of the order can't get something happening here. Remember, Reyes swing the bat a little bit.
Molina, it's been a frustrating year. He's hitting .217, but a couple of times in this series he's come up with one out or nobody out, runners in scoring position where they just need a fly ball, and he hasn't been able to deliver.
I was pressing a little bit, and you pop it up on the infield and just relax.
Belliard fake going to second.
I think usually when you have someone that is 6'10", they can't be very quick to the plate.
Another factor is Piazza too.
And Piazza has only thrown out 10% of runners, and he has had over 100 runners attempt to steal off of him. Over 100.
Here comes an 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. And a double play. That's one. That's two. Double play, 6-3. The first one turned by San Diego tonight. And it brings in Anthony Reyes.
And a lot of times like that where Molina starts his swing and just never finishes off, just trying to make contact, and just doesn't come through the zone with any authority.
I thought that was the case his first full season being the regular catcher. Rarely did he strike out, but he didn't hit the ball with any authority.
It was a defensive swing trying to avoid striking.
Right. 1-1 the count on Anthony Reyes. Cardinals trail by a run here in the bottom of the third. Chris Young, a record of 11-5. Anthony is 5-7 on the year. A lot of late swings, so you know that he hides the ball pretty well out there on the mound.
Sneaky fast.
The other thing that they said in watching this, you'll see right-handed batters make a lot of outs to the right side, either ground balls to second base or fly outs to right.
Well, they're tardy on it, and they're also, he pitches a lot away.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Reyes. So first time through the order, Young strikes out 5 for the Padres. Cameron, Branyan, and Blum coming up. It's 1-0 Padres. By Kia Motors, Kia, the power to surprise. By the new Taco Bell Nacho Crunch Grilled Stuffed Burrito. And by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Here's Mike Cameron. And he looks at a ball. It's 1-0 San Diego, top of the 4th. Cameron, first time up, struck out with 2 runners on. Talking about a real good player in Mike Cameron, especially defensively. And he's now playing on his 4th team. He's been with his 5th team. And he hits it out to deep center field. Edmonds going back with room and makes the catch. Pennant races here, and stay on top of all the action with mobile alerts from STLCardinals.com. Get in-game scores, late changes, injury updates, plus club and league news. It's simple. Using your mobile phone, text the keyword Cardinals to 65246 or visit STLCardinals.com to sign up today. Here's Russell Branyan. Pitch outside. Branyan, the third baseman tonight. No Brian Giles in this lineup tonight. Remember, he hurt himself going around second base in game 2. Understand that the Pirates have the bases loaded, 1 out, 6-5, holding on to their lead in the 6th inning. We'll update you on that game as we go along. Two balls, 1 strike. Outfield deep for Branyan. Molina just flat out missed it. Three and 1. Since August 21st, Branyan is hitting .304. He's picked up 5 home runs. Swinging a good bat. The 3-1 pitch. Ball just seems to jump off his bat. Watching batting practice today, and he hit some long home runs here at Busch Stadium.
He hit a home run at his own park that was measured at 454, tying the longest one ever at Petco Field.
And that is ball 4. So Anthony Reyes has walked 3. You're ready to make the calls yourself as an umpire. For the first time this November, Major League Baseball is offering 2 sessions of umpiring camps in Compton, California, where you can learn from Major League umpires. For more information, go to www.mlbuc.com.
Rich Rico will be happy about that.
Wake up.
How can you be yawning? This is a baseball game.
Well, to be honest with you, Al, he might not be the only one.
And you owe Tim Garcia an apology, because now there is an error on the scoreboard.
I would never apologize to Tim.
You know what?
For something like that.
That's a good thought.
Let him hang out to dry out there, you know?
Yeah.
Mr. Know-It-All. But I mean, the effort that Tim gives on a nightly basis up here is just incredible. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm going to miss him. But you know what my bonus is? I come home for a little home hockey. Who do I see? Tim Garcia. What a pleasure.
Man, at least I get a break. Short one, 6 months.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch to Jeff Blum with a runner at first. And Blum grounds it to the right side. Belliard can get the lead man. Miles will put it in his back pocket. 4-6 on the putout. Lead runner is off the base paths, and now there's 2 outs. Has Belliard surprised you with his defense?
Yes. Showing a lot more range than I thought. His arm is extremely strong. Quickness. But when you say that, then you got to say you're a little disappointed in his offense.
Young grounded out. First time up. He pulls one foul. This guy's a pretty good athlete. As you mentioned before, a 2-sport star in college.
Belliar is hitting .243 in the National League, and he hit .291 in the American League. Most people consider the American League, at least right now, to be superior.
0-1 pitch. Slicing out to right, and the catch is made by Duncan. Midway through the fourth, and the Cardinals have the top of the lineup. With Miles, Duncan, and Pujols due up, it's 1-0 San Diego.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy.
That's going to be fun to see, and that's the first one of our classics, Monday night Cardinals classics here on FSN Midwest. It's great seeing those old games. I love it. And that is certainly one of the most famous home runs in franchise history.
One of the greatest calls,
right?
Yeah.
First pitch to Miles, grounded out to second, first time up, is a ball. First time through the lineup for Young, and he struck out 5. See if the Cardinals can adjust here second time through. 1-1.
He's human at home, 5-5. 4.60 ERA.
And Miles hits it down the right field line, and the catch is made by Sledge. Let's turn to the Aflac trivia question tonight.
Aflac.
Who is the Cardinals' all-time leader in career inside the park home runs? Inside the park home runs.
Good question.
Duncan chases a pitch up, and it's popped up. Piazza for out number 2. While Pujols digs in, talking with Albert before the game, he's been kind enough to sign a jersey for my golf tournament coming up. It's October 9th. We are running out of spots, so if you were planning on attending the tournament, running out of spots, so call quickly. 636-532-1442. All the proceeds benefit the Special Education Foundation of children here in St. Louis. First pitch to Albert is a ball. 636-532-1442. We have a brunch, a dinner, huge auction, tons of sports memorabilia, trips and whatnot, dinners. We have a lot of fun. We hope that you can make it out there, and all the money goes to the Special Education Foundation of St. Louis. 1-1 the count on Albert Pujols. Just got a piece, and Pujols struck out first time up on a breaking ball, and he was caught looking.
Got back-to-back curveballs.
Now when he strikes out, you hardly ever see him called out on strikes. I mean, it's a swing and a miss. I mean, it's foul tip into the glove, but it's rarely a called third strike. Great ratio here for Chris Young. 46 pitches and 33 of those strikes.
Strikeout in the first inning gives him 50 for the year. That doesn't sound like much for a power hitter with 46 home runs, but it was last week he was under his 46 home runs in strikeouts.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Albert Pujols. Oh. By the way, Jason Bay came up with the bases loaded for Pittsburgh and grounded into a double play. So they moved to the 7th and 6-5.
You know, they walked the man ahead of him to load the bases, and then brought in a reliever, and he got the double play.
2-2 pitch to Albert Pujols. Took something off it. Ball 3.
So everything's going right for the Astros.
Outfield very, very deep. Straight away for Pujols. 3-2 pitch. And Pujols grounds it left side. Base hit. For the Cardinals, it's just their second hit tonight.
These fans are trying to explode on anything positive. That low center of gravity, almost like he's sitting on a stool. Just pick up the heel, place it down. The torque and twist as he rotates.
The conversation over there at first base with Gonzalez and Pujols, and now here's Spezio. He struck out first time up. I want to say congratulations to the radio voice of the St. Louis Blues, Chris Kerber, and his lovely wife. Baby girl tonight.
Oh, great.
So congratulations to the Kerbers, their second child.
Now he can go on the road and get some sleep.
That's right. Pujols, stolen base, and he's going to wind up at third.
It's what we talked about earlier. If you get a base runner, you want to run. If you get a jump, you should be okay. And, you know, Mike Piazza is a terrific offensive player, but he's always had a weakness of throwing out base stealers, and he complicates it by throwing it into center field. Should get a good jump on a 6'10" pitcher, and look at that slide in, and immediately was running towards third. It's right where we want Spezio too. He is so good with 2 outs. 67% of his RBIs have come with 2 outs.
See if he gets a pitch to hit on 2-0. Takes it for a strike. So again, the congratulations to the Kerbers. Little baby girl, mama's healthy, baby healthy, and that's great news. So Chris, here comes a bunch of phone calls and text messages. Here's a 2-1. Spezio gets underneath it, and it's going to find the seats out of play. 2-2 on Scott Spezio. Pujols represents the tying run. He stands at third. Padres lead it on an RBI back in the first by Piazza. It's 1-0. 2-2 pitch. Cardinals would take anything. Wild pitch, pass ball. Pujols is aggressive down the third base line.
Albert gets that good secondary lead.
And it is ball 4. So runners at first and third with 2 outs. And a chance for Roland. And he had one of the hardest hit balls first time through against Young as he lined out to right.
Now he gets Scotty cranking. He's been in a little funk for more than a month. His average has been on the decline.
Two outs, first and third. First pitch to Scott Rolen. Here it comes. Rolen singles out to left center field. This game is tied. Spezio on his way to third. And Scott Rolen delivers. We're tied up 1-1. Thank you.
Get greedy. You want more than just that one. It's 93rd RBI. back over 295, but Scott needed this base hit. The Cardinals need this base hit. The fans need this base hit. So he's hit 2 balls sharply tonight. He's 1 for 2. And Spezio, a good base running. It's 2 outs, so he sees the play in front of him. Easily he goes to third base. Now Jimmy. Have a little fun this inning. Keep on going.
First and third, 2 down for Edmonds. Ground ball hit to the second baseman. Force play. And the Cardinals are through, but Rolen delivers with 2 outs. 1-1 game as we head to the 5th. Take a look at the Aflac trivia question tonight. Who is the Cardinals' all-time leader in career inside the park home runs? Someone with speed, huh? Rogers Hornsby with 29.
29. Never would have got that.
We were all over that one, Al. Rogers Hornsby.
Rogers, they're going to rededicate the Hall of Fame statues at their new location at Busch Stadium at 11 a.m. prior to the final regular season game on Sunday. So that ceremony will take place right in front of the team store at the corner of 8th and Clark.
Big hit by Rolen with 2 outs to tie the game up 1-1. We're in the 5th.
I'm a big fan of Harry Weber's great work. The sculptor.
Did the Bernie Federko statue too over at the Scott Trade Center.
Hall of Famers Stan Musial, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, Red Cheney, Ozzie Smith, family members and other statue honorees to attend. Carol Buck, Rogers Hornsby's the 3rd and the 4th. Nina Slaughter's daughter Gay, Rhonda and Sharon, George Sisler's son Dave, daughter-in-law Janet, daughter Francis, Zizzy Dean's great nephew. Cool Papa Bell's got a representative.
Base hit for Dave Roberts.
But you said keep him off base.
That's what I said. And he's on for the 2nd time. He's already stolen a base tonight. He's been dirty the entire series too. Head first slides. Uniform is dirty. And now it's Sledge who has struck out twice. So Dave Roberts stands at first base. He's got 47 steals now in the year. Scott Rolen in on the grass over at 3rd. First pitch. Strike. Reyes had a rough first inning, but since then has settled in.
One of his favorite opponents has been this Padres hitter. Sledge with 2 strikeouts.
And he struck out 3 overall tonight. It's also walked 3.
Pay attention over there. Roberts has 4 steals in the series. 1 tonight.
And a check. Cardinals have 14 losses in the month of September, and 6 of those have been by 1 run. And 5 of them have occurred in the Cardinals' last 8 losses. Tony has preached the fact that his team has been playing hard, playing all 9. That one catches Molina. Strike 2. He's tried to stay as upbeat as he can throughout this process.
He's concerned a little bit by Molina right now as they're trying to give him a little time.
RBIs tonight by Piazza and by Rolen. Let's see if they want to run on Molina to taking that foul ball.
Good sized leads.
Talking about how the Padres and Cardinals have approached left-handed batters and how they hold a runner on at first It's also a little different styles of how they hold them on at first. Whether or not they do it is another case, but how they do it too.
Yeah, Albert, a good foot or two in front of the bag, not straddling it, and then he takes another step away from the bag as the pitchers come set.
Change up, and you got Dave Roberts over there at first, so he gets the 4th strikeout tonight.
Watch Albert, he's up in front, and then he'll take a step or two even further away from the bag. He feels he can get back and get a throw and try to dive back with the runner and apply the tag.
You would think that would be another reason to steal against the Cardinals, with as many changeups that Reyes throws.
Well, you would think, but Roberts not feeling comfortable.
A little bigger lead, it looks like this time, and he's leaning.
Yeah.
Not going, and Walker unloads out to right center field. Edmonds back at the track, and he'll make the catch. Roberts tagging up all the way from first to second. Heads up play by Roberts.
And I don't know why. He's got good speed and good instincts, but why more runners don't do that? You know the team you're playing against. There's a Gold Glove center fielder out there. He's going back on a ball, and if you got pretty good speed, you tag up and you can advance, get yourself in scoring position. There's a good throw, and he's still underneath the tag easily.
Piazza's been on base twice with a single, an RBI, and they'll appeal. It's the home plate umpire that makes that call.
Part of the rotation, the first base umpire is going out into the outfield, and so first the home plate umpire comes up the line to see if the runner left too soon.
We saw Reyes step off the rubber. Remember Andy Pettit last week in Houston threw from the rubber.
And apparently Angel Hernandez said that he made a mistake and stated that he found out with further review, and both managers thought he got the play correct, and he volunteered that he made a mistake. He said there is a secondary book that the umpires have, probably of new rules, and it said on the case of an appeal play you don't have to step off.
I mean, Angel Hernandez got one wrong?
And he corrected the wrong.
That's going to be a blow to the ego. Here's a chopper hit foul off the bat of Piazza.
I guess if any of our fans kind of remember that 4-game series in Houston, Angel has a tendency that no matter what base he's umpiring, something will stand out, and you'll remember who was umpiring that base.
Third time that Molina has gone out and had a visit with Reyes. 1-1 the count on Mike Piazza.
Used to be that you knew you had a good umpire game if you couldn't remember what the name of the umpire was.
Or you can just be like Mike Shannon, just never give their names on the radio. That's number 28 down there at first base. And Piazza hits it out to right and caught. A line shot caught by Duncan. Cardinals have the bottom of the order coming up. We're tied at 1-1. Best damn sports show period, the greatest nightly sports show on television. It's coming up later tonight here on FSN, following the post-game show. And it's the best damn sports show in New Orleans. Joe Horn, Dale Brown, longtime LSU basketball coach, will be part of the program. Joe Horn of the Saints. What a return by the Saints to New Orleans on Monday night. Emotional game, and that was quite a production put on by the National Football League.
Ever been to New Orleans?
I have.
You ever gone to a Super Bowl?
I've been to the Superdome for basketball, but not for football.
Super Bowls are probably the best venue. As you go to, say, a place like the Abstinence House, you wait there long enough, you'll see anybody and everybody you want to see. They'll come through there.
Belliard here. Molina and Reyes for the Cardinals. We're tied up 1-1. Belliard hits it out to center. Mike Cameron there for the first out. Ronnie 1 for 2. He's starting to sting the ball a little bit. And it brings in Molina. He's grounded into a double play, and each side has turned a double play tonight. Cardinals trying to find some help around Albert Pujols here in the month of September with his hit in the fourth. He's now hitting .380 with 21 driven in, 18 runs scored, 7 home runs. But you look at Duncan, he's only hitting .218 this month, rolling .202 even with the hit tonight. Encarnacion at .197. So somewhere outside of Albert Pujols in this lineup, somebody's got to pick it up. Yadier Molina out to left. That'll stay in the ballpark, and the catch is made by Roberts. 2 down. 2006 Post-Dispatch St. Louis Cardinals pin collection now available as a complete set for only $74.99. Log on to cardinalspincollection.com or call 877-758-5245 and place your order today. 2 outs. Here's Reyes. He struck out back in the third. Cardinals have done a much better job second time through the lineup against Young. First time through 5 strikeouts. This time through a couple of base hits and a walk. And they picked up the RBI by Rolen.
And that would stand to reason. Now you've got a little bit of an idea what it looks like. His delivery and where to pick up the arm and the release point.
While in Texas a year ago, he had 12 wins, which matched the Texas rookie record. Second in strikeouts, tied for third with those 12 wins among the rookies. And a ground ball hit to the left side. Russell Branyan, and the Cardinals go 1-2-3. We have played 5 here in St. Louis, and we're tied up 1-1. What's on tap brought to you by Bud Light. It'll be Jason Marquis tomorrow night. 33rd start of the season and his 3rd against the Brewers, looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. Lost 8 of his last 11. Brewers and Cardinals 1st to 4 tomorrow on FSN at 6:30, and that's brought to you by Bud Light.
I see Ted Simmons, who is he's been following the club for he was in Houston for the entire series. He's a member of the front office of the Padres. Whitey Herzog's here tonight.
Now, I thought John Sherholz wrote in his book that he had a trade with Ted Simmons for Bonds that was then called off, and obviously the parties that were involved not happy that that came out in a book. Ted Simmons, number of years with Pittsburgh.
Teddy was general manager there for a while and then had a heart attack. Changed his lifestyle and thankfully gave up smoking. Not so much lifestyle. His biggest thing is started eating better, lost some weight, stopped smoking.
There's Gonzalez. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And he was with Cleveland for a while, and then now he's been with San Diego for quite a while.
Pitch count near 90 for Anthony Reyes, so we'll see how much longer he can last. Normally it's been around 6 or 7 innings.
Ted Simmons told me the other day if he could convince his bride, he'd move into one of the luxury condos here at Ballpark Village. The
3-1.
The Cornish development. I saw the model of that, and that looks unbelievable.
Rounder, and Belliard is about 10 feet back on the outfield crest, and he takes a hit away from Gonzalez. Boy, he was positioned perfectly. Pitch by pitch, brought to you by your Mid-America Chevrolet dealers.
Look like a fastball. Another one down there is keeping it down, keep trying to get the ground balls. Another one got up a little bit, changed speeds, and then another one where he just hit the ball sharply, but Belliard was deep on the grass and made the play nicely.
Here's Cameron. Here's the trade that San Diego made with Texas. They got Chris Young, Jermel Sledge, and Gonzalez. For Adam Eaton, Otsuka, who worked out of their bullpen a year ago, and Billy Killian. I'd say it's a pretty good deal. 1 ball and strike on Mike Cameron. Came over from the Mets. Xavier Nady was sent to New York, and now he's with Pittsburgh. Texas then made the deal with Milwaukee to get Carlos Lee. They give up Cordero. Cordero, obviously one of the top closers, it looks to be, at least in baseball. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of chances, but against the Cardinals, he's been nasty.
Well, he's been unhittable since coming to the National League. He was undefeated and was perfect in save opportunities.
Texas, the franchise that gave Rodriguez, A-Rod, $252 million. They gave Chano Park a bundle of money too.
I don't know if people have been paying attention, but the Mets are having a heck of a hard time of late. John Smoltz beat him, what, 12-0 yesterday. Tonight they're losing to Atlanta 13-1.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cameron strikes out. 75 miles an hour on that pitch. Second time that Cameron has struck out. 5 on the night for Anthony.
Anthony, another off-speed pitch. Pulls the string, but good location, down and away, movement.
Now with the extra day's rest, maybe he goes a little deeper in this game, and as you mentioned, it might take a while for him to get settled in, but now he is.
Yeah, it's gotten him a little time to get moving, but now he's pitching well. Here's the tough decision you've got. He's given you 6 good innings once he gets this final out in the 6th inning. The Cardinals hump inning, and their nightmares have been started and really been the 7th inning, getting through the 7th inning. In Houston, they had the lead or were tied all 4 games in the 7th inning. It was Carpenter's 7th inning last night. So the 7th inning has been the inning that they can't get through. So
Strike 2 on Brandon.
So you go with a guy that's over 100 pitches, or do you go with someone fresh? It's a good question.
0-2 the count on Brandon, who has been on base twice with a walk and a single. Reyes has allowed 5 hits tonight.
They've been reluctant to push him beyond the 100 pitch mark, but right now you might have to.
Time called. Anthony has set down 5 straight. So 99 pitches on the night for Anthony Reyes. Here comes number 100 on this 1-2 pitch.
Good. I like the changeup. I don't want the fastball in.
Got him with the changeup. Strikes out 2. That's 6 on the night. The Cardinals have the top of the lineup. Miles, Duncan, and Pujols coming up.
Today's hot pitch of the game is brought to you by Hardee's. Put down the fastball? No, not late in the ball game where a home run will beat you. He wants a changeup, and he's had good location with it. You don't get hurt. You don't get beat with a pitch in there.
And ball 1 to Miles. No activity in the Cardinal bullpen. Looking ahead to the 7th, the Padres will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up in the order.
I like it.
Keep them out there. 2-0. Cardinals, of course, have Miles, Duncan, and Pujols coming up here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now, there's 2 schools of thought with the way you've struggled in the 7th inning. Some people might say, don't tell the pitcher about it. I think I would personally want to be reminded and say, okay, now this is the inning. You really got to bear down. Go out for out. You know, pitch for pitch. Go out there and execute. But be reminded that you've got to pitch tough in this inning.
Top of the 9th, 6-5 Pittsburgh. Come on, Buccos. Florida leading Cincinnati 6-2. They are already floating out names to replace Joe Girardi. One of those Joey Cora, Freddie Gonzalez another one.
Freddie Gonzalez was third base coach there in Florida and very, very well respected. He's on Bobby Cox's staff now.
Joey Cora with the White Sox, and Ozzie Guillen was
probably helping promote him.
Right, and Ozzie, of course, was with the World Championship team with the Marlins, and then last year the manager of the White Sox.
Fastball away.
2-2 pitch.
Ball up out of the strike zone, but it looks so good up there that hitters can't lay off it.
And if Girardi is not back in Florida, many believe he'll be in Chicago. Now, he does have 2 years remaining on his contract, and Dusty Baker's deal is up, and Dusty has said that he'd like to know maybe by this weekend what's going to happen with his future.
Here's his changeup, Young's changeup.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, and Joe Girardi, Jeffrey Loria, the owner of the Marlins, was out of town when they returned, and Joe was really saying, hey, I started this, I want to finish with these guys, they've accomplished so much, I'd like to be a part of it, but he's not going to resign, so they're going to have to pay off those 2 years.
3-2 is hit to the second baseman. That's out number one, and it brings in Duncan.
So if they let Girardi go, they're on the hook to pay his salary for 2 years.
For a club that's got a payroll at $15 million.
Yeah, and a club that apparently doesn't really want to spend a lot.
Exactly.
That might be hard for the owner to swallow.
Sure would be. A shift on here for Duncan with Russell Brandon, the third baseman, well off the line. Playing even with the bag. Now he backs up a couple of steps.
Big gap out in left center. Mentioned that the left-handed batters have a worse average against Chris Young, the starter. They're only batting .181 coming in.
Duncan out to center. Just sounds good off his bat. That one carries out to Cameron. The Cardinals make it to the playoffs. Tune into FSN Midwest before and after playoff games for Cardinals Live. Our reporters take you inside the clubhouse. You'll hear from the manager, Tony La Russa, and the players. For complete Cardinals coverage, tune into Cardinals Live on FSN Midwest.
It's going to get interesting in the wild card as Philly is batting in the top of the ninth at Washington, leading 5-4.
Pujols out to center field. And Young has an easy inning. 6 in the books. We're all tied up here in game 3. It's 1-1. Cardinal Baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Check out Jack in the Box late night. If you're up, Jack's up. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers. And by U.S. Cellular. We connect with you.
One out in Pittsburgh, where the Buccos holding the 1-run lead.
6-5. That's in the 9th inning. Blum, Young, and then Roberts.
Mike Gonzalez, their left-handed closer, has been out for quite a while with tendonitis in his arm, but Solomon Torres is very capable.
Well, the deepest that Reyes has gone into a game, and it's 2-0 now on Jeff Blum, was the game and one of the best starts of the year at Chicago against the White Sox. He went 8 innings and gave up just the 1 hit to Jim Thome and took the loss. So he's had just more than 6 innings and a start 3 times this season.
The bullpen will get active now, I think, when he's fallen behind.
2-1. Pitched into the 7th last time against Pittsburgh. That was on September 3rd. Here's a 2-1 pitch. It's a lefty getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen. They've got 3 out there.
It's Randy Flores, I believe.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Turned on it and pulled it foul. Blum tonight 0 for 2.
Even the great Bob Gibson in a game like this, late in a game, never really wanted to pitch inside in the strike zone. He wanted to pitch inside to get you off the plate so he could get you out away.
That is the last thing that Anthony wanted to do. That's 4 walks tonight. Only one of those previous 3 walks came back to haunt him, and that was Roberts. And we're in a 1-1 game, and that was to start the game. So Chris Young, let's see if he'll sacrifice here. Seven sacks this year for Young. Runner at first is Blum. Scott rolling. Running in at third, and now Molina out to visit with Reyes. They're going to try to give him the out, but he pitches ball 1.
And the other thing to me is don't throw it down. Throw it up. Try to induce the pop-up. Got a guy 6'10". You can throw as high as you want. It's still in his strike zone.
Sure.
It's hard to get it down to his knees.
See how aggressive the Cardinals want to play this. Roland will charge from third. Here it comes. Pitch outside. 2-0.
Well, we have some drama here, but they have drama in Pittsburgh, and that might be it. Tony slow walking. He's just munching to the bullpen right now.
How about that in the middle of the at bat? He's going to bring in Randy Flores. Good outing though for Anthony Reyes. Did walk 4. Exits with a 1-1 game. Reyes, Al, gives the Cardinals something that they needed, a solid start. Not great, but solid.
Well, 6+ innings, and he had 6 strikeouts. He had changeup, changeup, changeup. 5 of his 6 strikeouts all came on the changeup, but he had very good location with it. We've always said that that's one of his real big weapons. The breaking ball needs to improve. And the fastball, you know, whether you believe he's got to keep it down, and then a combination up in the zone.
Call to the bullpen brought to you by your Mid-America Chevrolet dealers. Randy Flores enters the game in a tough spot. 2 balls and no strikes, but the pitcher's willing to hand you the out, and now it's 3-0. Luke Scott with 2 outs in the 9th has tied the game up for Houston. It's now 6-6.
They walked Berkman. Potential go-ahead run to bring up Luke Scott, who's been probably the hottest hitter in the National League since Preston Wilson was let go.
Boy, late in the game, I don't know if there's anybody hotter right now than the Astros. Unbelievable. A strike and now a full count.
Well, battle back, win this game, and then you just take your chances. A lot of game left here, and we still have that magical 7th inning we talked about, that the Cardinals can get over the hump and then worry about the 8th, then the 9th.
Here's a 3-2. Flores thought about going to second, lobs it over to Belliard, and that's out number 1.
I hate the lob.
Now it's Roberts.
A walk to start off the 7th inning. That's Reyes' big mistake, was the 4 walks. And it could make a loser out of him. He's responsible for the man at second.
Roberts on base twice tonight with a single, a walk, and he's also flied out to center. Roland cheating in at third. It's a hitting lane there, but he hits it right at Scott. I mean, right at him.
Playing in, and you know, hit it fairly hard, but if that ball's a little bit left or right, it's an extra base hit. You know, if it's to Scott Rowland's right down in left field corner, if it's anyway to his left and gets out to the outfield, it's probably the second run scores.
Tough night for Termel Sledge, the right fielder. With Giles out, Sledge has struck out 3 times, and all 3 times swinging.
Those were against. Reyes.
Strike one. Little concern right now for the Cardinals, the bullpen from the left side.
Or you could say a concern, period, for the bullpen.
Let's just say that.
Yeah, but you know, as a bullpen guy, if you've been struggling, all you look for is one appearance to, you know, have something positive happen. And then you kind of pronounce yourself mentally well, and once you do that, you're well on your way to pitching well physically.
2-1 the count.
Josh Kinney had been thrown in the pin, getting a breather right now.
And a ground ball hit to the second baseman. Belliard there. Good work by Randy Flores. Time to stretch here in St. Louis. Cardinals have Spezio, Roland, Edmonds coming up. We're tied up at 1. The great Lou Brock in attendance tonight. We're tied up 1-1 as we move to the bottom of the 7th.
Wouldn't you like to see Lou Brock on first base tonight? And you have Ted Sizemore take a pitch or two, let him steal second, and hit the ball to the right side. He goes to third, and then Simmons comes up and drives him in. The Cardinals win 2-1.
Sizemore, the rookie of the year, I believe, in what, 1969, right?
For the Dodgers.
1-1 game, and here's Spezio. Walked and struck out. The Cardinals get over that hump in the top of the 7th.
How come we're not doing the Hyundai inning? Long drive inning. You know why?
I assume you're going to tell me.
Well, I played Santa Claus today. I gave away a car. Spezio hit one of those 7th inning home runs that made 9 people eligible. Only had 9 contestants this year, so and then one person didn't show up, so it was down to 8 contestants had a shot at the new Sonata. And tomorrow we'll show you the video during our pregame show of the lucky winner. There are 5 ladies and 3 men.
3-1. So I have to wait till tomorrow.
You have to wait till tomorrow.
Pregame show to find out the winner of the Hyundai Sonata.
All of our Hyundai dealers on both sides of the river.
And that's ball 4 to Spezio.
Uh-oh. There's Lou on first. Of course, Lou was a member of that 3,000 hit club, so he got a base hit to get on. 82 pitches, so very economical. And a good ratio, 2-to-1 ratio, strikes the ball.
Roland has had 2 good at-bats tonight against Young. First one was a line drive out to right, and the next one was the 2-out RBI base hit. First pitch to Scott Rolen on its way. Took something off it for strike 1.
Like that glove not quite as high and telegraphing the release point a little more now.
Strike 2. Cardinals with just 3 hits tonight against Young. Spezio is the go-ahead run at first.
Bottom of the 9th at Pittsburgh. Wheeler on the mound, and it's 1 out. Jason Bay could end it for the Buccos.
Scott Rolen lifts it out to shallow left center field. Mike Cameron is there. That's out number 1. Cardinals are proud to offer a limited edition autograph print celebrating Bruce Suter's induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's autographed by Suter, framed in mahogany. It's only $300 plus tax, shipping, and handling. The number to call is 345-9666, or go to the Cardinals website at stlcardinals.com. Now, here's a chance with Edmonds. Why not try Spezio running here? I mean, we've seen Piazza struggled getting runners out. And the catch is made by Brandon. That's
Good
a great play. I mean, why not try it?
Well, I agree with you, you know, because if you can get the jump, I'm sure the time to the plate is slow. And then Piazza, who really, but let's watch Brandon right now, reaching over. You can actually go into the dugout. So he could go down those steps. And that is his dugout, so he's going to be greeted with friendly hands, not attacking hands.
Well, that's a good play. Concentration of the steps there.
Remember Barry Lyons, the old ballpark?
Yeah.
Went into the Cardinal dugout, and John Tudor was sitting there, and he broke his kneecap as the Mets catcher just like dove into the dugout and collided with Tudor sitting on the bench. You know, they weren't going to try and help him, but he really didn't try to push him off or anything. Broke his kneecap.
Here's Belliard.
With Belliard hitting here, I'd go for it too.
Braden Looper getting loose in the Cardinal pen.
Little surprise, you know, but Flores very effective, but they got so many left-handers in that lineup.
They go to extra innings in Pittsburgh. Spezio is running, and he is safe. See Todd Walker trying to sell it after the tag.
Yeah, that's smart. It's the first steal of the year for Spezio. But this was a time that everything was in his favor. The slowness of the pitcher to the plate. You know, Piazza makes a strong and accurate throw, but he still beats it out. And Walker trying to just give the indication to the umpire that, oh, I know I made that tag. Let's go. The inning's over. Umpire said, come on back.
The pitch was a strike to Belliard. Here comes an 0-2. Base hit could give the Cardinals a lead. 1-2. Telling you, Belliard looked good last night, and again tonight. He's hit the ball all right too.
It's a long ball last night. And Chris Young has allowed 28 home runs, but just 3 singles to the Cardinals tonight.
1-2 pitch to Belliard. Ooh, that's tough to take. Ooh, 2-2. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
A little bit down, apparently.
Young in the first 3 innings struck out 5, and since then, no strikeouts.
Or they think he makes a lot of pitches out over the plate.
The 2-2. Molina on deck.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a changeup or something, because you got first base open, you got Molina on deck, some kind of off-speed pitch.
If he gets on, would we see Molina hit? Carried 2 other catchers.
To be honest, you would hope not.
Here's a 3-2 pitch coming to Belliard. On its way. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Off speed.
And Belliard is the 6th strikeout victim against Young. Cardinals strand a runner. They have left 3 on tonight. We move to the 8th. 1-1 game. Well, who should be the National League Rookie of the Year? It's our singular wireless question tonight. Duncan, fielder, Ugla, Zimmerman, other 42957, our text. And most believe that Prince Fielder should be, followed by Duncan. Good to see Duncan get some votes there.
And Zimmerman, 100 RBIs, but pretty good shot that Duncan comes in second place. You know, probably a partial few Cardinal fans in there.
You would think.
We would hope.
One thing about Duncan, though, he just hasn't been there from day one. Prince Fielder has been. Ugla, right. 26 home runs. He's tied with Fielder. How about Josh Willingham? He's got 25 home runs. Ryan Zimmerman, 19 home runs. Playing third base every day for Washington.
And 100 RBIs.
Right. 107 as a matter of fact.
got so many left-handed bats. That's why maybe not the worst thing that Flores gets a few more outs to get.
2-1 pitch to Walker, little low.
Don't lose them. Got Braden Looper. He's warming up. He was warming up in case they wanted to change pitchers or got to the pitcher spot.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Out to left center field. It's going to be Spezio for the first out. So got him on the 3-1 pitch. Let's see if Tony goes to the bullpen here. Looks like it.
Now you got Gonzalez behind him. It only works if you get if the next guy gets guys out.
How about the job tonight by Randy Flores? Well done.
Outstanding. And in the third,
he came in with a runner on and a 2-0 count. And Flores got the 3 outs in the 7th and the first here in the 8th. We're tied up 1-1. Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is here. The FSN Final Score. Every great highlight, every unforgettable moment, every night on FSN. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. FSN Final Score tonight at 11:30 on FSN Midwest.
one of the scores you're going to see on that Final Score is that Cincinnati lost tonight to Florida 7-2. So the magic number for the Cardinals to eliminate Cincinnati is down to 3.
Call to the bullpen brought to you by your Mid-America Chevrolet dealers. It was a rough road trip for the Cardinals, no doubt. Very tough on the bullpen, and in particular Looper against Houston. 2 straight losses, a couple blown saves at Houston. And he pitched Monday against San Diego. 1 inning, 2 hits, no runs. Nobody on, and here's Mike Piazza with 1 out here in the 8th. And a ground ball left side. Diving stop by Miles. Throws and almost got him. Base hit for Mike Piazza. Rare infield hit for Piazza. Good effort though by Aaron Miles.
And deep in the hole from his knees, trying to make the miraculous throw, and you wonder if he could have taken a little time to pop up, but he would have a little bit more on that throw and a little more accuracy. Look at Albert trying to do everything he can to stretch out and stay on the bag. And they'll pinch run with Green, isn't it?
Khalil Green, the shortstop. Before we continue with our telecast, I want to pass along our best wishes to Jim Jackson and his family. Mother passed away. Jim is the radio producer and engineer of Cardinals baseball, has been doing so for a number of years. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Jackson family.
Absolutely.
A pitch outside to Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez has grounded into a double play. 6-4-3, singled and grounded out to second. Green is a threat to steal.
He's got bad fingers, why Khalil Green is not starting. He is a very talented shortstop. But that injury is, I guess, keeping him out of starting games.
Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner.
Josh Kinney and Tyler Johnson throwing in the bullpen for the Cardinals.
Just missed. 3-1. This is a big pitch in the game right here because it's 3 balls and a strike, and Dave Duncan's trying to figure out where it is crossing the plate, where it actually hits the mitt, why it's a ball. So figure that they might be running with this pitch, and he's going to get a pitch to hit. There he goes, a 3-1 as a grounder. That is foul.
Foul ball, and you know Braden Looper is slow to the plate, and so you get any kind of jump, even with Molina back behind the plate, you should have a good shot at stealing a base. you don't get the jump, you know, then Molina's arm will make up the difference.
Full count on Gonzalez. See if Looper just even throws over.
Or holds the ball. Some of the defenses that managers employ to try and stop a base stealer.
There he goes. A 3-2 pitch is taken for a ball, but the ball goes out to shallow center. Not far enough for Green to advance. So runners at first and second. One out. And the batter will be Cameron. So Looper has come into the game, giving up an infield hit to Piazza, a walk to Gonzalez. Runners at first and second for Mike Cameron, who has struck out a couple of times and flied out to center. He's 0 for 3. Cameron was the hero late last night for San Diego. Could he do it again? Carpenter had him at 0-2 and lost him. Pitch at the knees for strike one. Carpenter had not lost at Busch Stadium since August 4th and only twice all season prior to that game. 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
Good pitch there in on him.
By the way, Carpenter would be in line for one more turn on Sunday if need be.
I mean, boy, there's lose him, you know. There's a possibility you could play Monday and Tuesday, and then postseason. Then the postseason schedule would begin on Wednesday. But Cardinals would rather win the next 5, including this one.
Remember, Cameron last night was behind in the count. Behind here, 1-2. Runners at first and second. Just got a piece.
On the difference in last night is, Carpenter was on fumes. The umpire actually called a couple balls up in the zone. He called them strikes. And then on the 0-2 pitch, it was supposed to be a cutter and just didn't do anything. It just kind of sat up. And give Cameron some credit, he went the opposite field with a pitch that was up and away.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Give you some updates on the scores that matter most to the Cardinals. Top of the 11th now in Pittsburgh. It's 6-6. And Florida has beaten Cincinnati 7-2. So the Reds dropped to 3 games. Could be 3.5 before the night is through. And the Astros still fighting now. They're just a game and a half back. 2-2 pitch. Cameron rips it to Rolen. Double play. No, he threw it away. It's out to right field, and the runners advance up to second and third. But the runners do not score. Roland's catch, though, saves a run, if not 2. Couldn't hit it any harder.
And Scott just tried to do a little too much as he tries to throw before his feet really touch the ground. Or he had 1 foot on the ground. It's going to make you a little off balance. You got 2 short middle infielders, but it was a rocket right off the bat. And then he just tried to make the miraculous throw, hitting a running target, running over the bag as the runner's trying to get back, and makes runners at second and third. And Tyler Johnson coming in. So we're good. These guys, lefties, will be battle tested.
He'll get Branyan. When we come back, runners at second and third in a 1-1 game. Numbers on Tyler Johnson this season: ERA over 5, and this will be his 55th appearance for the 25-year-old. Left-handed batters have struggled against Tyler, but not recently. Overall, they're hitting .227, but he has allowed 3 home runs to left-handed batters. They had the walk-off home run by Jenkins in the 9th last Wednesday. That was at Milwaukee, and then Saturday night at Houston, it was Luke Scott. So they will counter with a right-handed batter to pinch hit for Russell Branyan, and this will be Mark Bellhorn. Of course, he'll hit from the right side, but he is a switch hitter.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter. And from the left side. He is a 176 hitter from the right-handed, 221s. So not a lot of difference, but he is also battle tested in playoff and down stretch competition.
Speaking of battle tested, tonight marks the 9th time in the last 10 games that the Cardinals will have a game decided by runs scored in the 7th inning or later, and the previous 8 have been losses.
But that trend is going to turn around. Tyler Johnson, he lost a couple games on the most recent road trip, but one appearance since he's been home was very good. One batter faced a strikeout.
And Bellhorn looks at a strike. Bellhorn had a couple of home runs against the Cardinals earlier this year. He was 3 for 8 in that previous series.
Drove in a season high 4 runs and hit his 4th homer on May 28th against St. Louis.
0-1 pitch.
Good block.
To sell out again tonight, 40,358. Got to wonder about the confidence right now of a Tyler Johnson after a rough road trip.
Like I said, he had a good outing in between.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Strike 2.
And if he can get out of this jam, then you get something building. There'd be 2 good outings, but this doesn't get much pressure packed in his young career than this at bat right here with 2 outs and runners at second, third in a tie game.
The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. No. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Boy, that very easily could have been strike 3.
This place was ready to erupt. Bellhorn's got a new life.
Jerry Davis, the crew chief at first base, said he did not go around, but that's tough. Don't let it affect you and make a careless pitch here.
The 2-2 pitch. Johnson to Bellhorn. Tap foul. What a fun ball game.
Yeah, we've seen Tyler really, be all over the place with his slider with a left-handed batter. But here he's thrown very effective pitches to a right-handed batter.
Another 2-2 pitch, and the ball gets away. San Diego will take the lead. It's 2-1 Padres here in the 8th. And here comes another run. Play at the plate and out. It's 2-1, middle of the 8th. San Diego on top. Cardinals were a check swing away from being out of the inning. And it was ruled that he did not go around, and now a wild pitch, and the Padres have the lead. It's 2-1. Let's take a look again at the check swing by Bellhorn.
Watch the hands. And it's kind of hard to tell, but they definitely did come forward, but Jerry Davis said no, and the wild pitch, and Molina never went off his shin guard, never got the glove down, then he couldn't find it. So 1 run scores. He's looking all over for it, so they decide to send the second runner, and Tyler was alert to it. Molina gives the ball to him, and they get the final out.
The trail on a play like that is disheartening.
Well, you can either feel sorry for yourself, or you can say, okay, we need to get 1 to tie, 2 to win.
So Taguchi will pinch hit for Molina. Encarnacion has moved to the on-deck circle.
Manny
We'll have
Alexander.
the top of the order. So Manny Alexander over at third. New catcher into the game, Rob Bowen.
Dan, the Cardinals should be thankful that it's happened here in the 8th, not in the 9th, or be on the road and another walk-off. So they still have their chances, and Taguchi gets it started.
First pitch, a ball to Sho Taguchi. Last home run for Sho Taguchi was against the White Sox and Burley.
Now this, So has hit 291 in 33 of his last 47 starts, but he's just scored 6 times in the last 53 games.
2-1. Playing time has been diminished with the emergence of Duncan.
Well, there's a positive. 2 for 3 off of this pitcher, Brink, who's very capable.
He has been busy in this series. This will be the 3rd time we've seen him. And you have to wonder, going back to back to back, if that would catch up with Brink here in the 3rd game of this series. Here comes a 3-1 pitch to Sho Taguchi, and that's ball 4. And the tying run is on.
At least this crowd is starting to get back in it and help out the home team. Walks in the late innings is just absolutely the biggest mistake. A look for Eckstein.
Well, Eckstein has been taking BP despite that leg injury that he's had and the sore side, but he said that he has made significant progress and enough, obviously, to pinch hit here in this spot.
I fully expect him to start tomorrow. And I talked to David right before the game, and he reported Monday that his leg was much better.
Cardinals could do a number of things here, but you would figure that David Eckstein is here to bunt.
That's what you figure, but it's a good move. You get him back there, you see how he responds. If he got into a situation, if he switched off, he's very capable.
3 sacrifices this season. Runner at first is Sho Taguchi. Manny Alexander is near the line and cheating in, anticipating the bunt. Goes to the first base side. They'll go to second and out there.
Bunted it too hard right to the left-handed throwing first baseman. That is a distinct advantage to have that left-hander on a bunt play like this. He doesn't have to spin and turn his back. He just gets to the side and just makes a snap throw, and it's a force play there. And now John Nelson will pinch run for David.
Don't need to push it with that sore leg.
No.
And now Miles. This crowd is quieted down again. 8th inning, 2-1 San Diego. Miles tonight 0 for 3. We still will see the big boys come up in this St. Louis lineup. Bottom of the 11th in Pittsburgh. The Pirates have a runner at second and 1 out. Cardinals need some help if they can't come back tonight. It was the first home appearance for David Eckstein since August 17th, and the fans appreciated the fact that he was back out there. It's as loud as we've heard him tonight.
Yes.
Former Cardinal Jack Wilson could help out the Cardinals. Shortstop of the Pirates. He's up at the plate for Pittsburgh.
Either going to help him out or he'll jinx him that he's the next Cardinal.
Here's a 2-0 pitch.
3-0.
To take 1, if not maybe even 2. He's already walked 1 here in the inning. .30 pitch, and he walked him. So the tying run in scoring position at second base. The go-ahead run is at first, and Embry has been up and getting loose, the lone lefty that they have in their bullpen. Got the feel of playoff baseball tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Now, he has not singled for his left-hander. And they may just, and Embry is warm, so he's not even making warm-up tosses.
Duncan's getting a little coaching there from one of the best in Pujols.
Yeah, you got Pujols up next. You know, after Duncan, so you know he might stay with line brink, and that's what the case. Line brink has been very solid. Clay Meredith is getting warm right now.
A little surprised not to see the lefty, just to face Duncan
and then bring Meredith for Pujols.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Bruce knows his ball club. He knows his tired arms better than us.
It's 2 walks in the inning by line brink. He's sticking with him. Will the move pay off? Runners at first and second. It's Nelson, the runner at second base. Decent speed. And over at first, it is Miles.
Just a prediction. Pittsburgh win in the 11th, and the Cardinals take the lead in the 8th.
Wouldn't that be something? 2-0.
Pressure's on line brink. There are times when you could be on that mound and know that a hitter is not going to take the bat off his shoulder, but yet it's almost impossible to throw a strike.
Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Oh. 2-1 on Duncan.
Atkins has joined Meredith.
2 balls and a strike on Duncan. He looks at ball 3.
Good discipline there.
The Pirates, by the way, have runners at first and third, and Jason Bay up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 11th. And the fans rise to their feet here at Busch Stadium.
This is what the Cardinal players need. They need the fans to get back in this game. They have been there for them through the years. These fans want to help out.
This place is ready to explode.
Well, the Cardinal players are ready to explode one way or the other, too.
Here's a 3-2 to Duncan. Came back to get him, and it's up to Pujols. What a pitch there by line brink.
Had him swing away over the top, and now Bochy will probably go. You have to believe he's got to go with Meredith, the submariner, who's been virtually unhittable.
He struck out Pujols in game 1, Meredith did. So Meredith will come in from the bullpen. First and second, Pujols coming up. Let's give you the Jack in the Box game recap as Meredith takes his warm-up tosses. It's 2-1 Padres here in the bottom of the 8th. San Diego jumped out to an early 1-0 lead, and then after that, Reyes would settle in. Scott Rowland with a 2-out RBI single, and a wild pitch could be the difference tonight. Pujols would like to change it. Albert Pujols, so many times he has delivered throughout the years in his Cardinal career. Can he do it one more time? Runners at first and second. 2 outs in a 2-1 ball game here in the 8th. Spezio is on deck. Bruce Bochy, I'm sure it's at least the idea has been floated out there to him. The fact that he's got third base open. He could walk Pujols here.
No, he's going to go right after him. Right-handed batters are batting 101 up America.
Albert out to deep left. Oh, yeah! Number 47 in the Big Mac land. New career high in home runs. 3-run shot, and it's 4-2 St. Louis. 133 driven in for Albert Pujols, and now 47 home runs. Go nuts.
And don't be surprised as soon as this score is posted in Pittsburgh that the air gets let out of Houston. They have fought brilliant, and the Cardinals have struggled, but that one pitch made a big difference.
Even the Hall of Famers' eyes lit up on that one. It's now 4-2, and sit back and enjoy Mr. Pujols.
And also ties Hall of Famer Willie Mays for 19 of his 25 game-winning RBIs in home run variety.
Cardinals will try to hold on as we head to the ninth. They now lead it 4-2. A sense of relief. 3 outs away from a win. Cardinals baseball on FSN Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it. By Chevrolet. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer today. Chevy and American Revolution. And by Advance Auto. We're ready in advance. That he has hit this year, maybe none bigger than that one.
And that is the stuff that people voting for the MVP remember.
Goodness gracious, thank you. Still 3 outs to go, though. Cardinals lead it 4-2 here in the ninth. Curveball, a good one from Wainwright. This is Rob Bowen.
This is where you really want to see really the first legitimate time that he's had a chance to be a closer since Izzy's gone down.
Pitching on back-to-back nights, something that the Cardinals, not very often did we see him do that this year.
He's not a rookie no more. He's a sophomore.
Another beauty. Strike 2. Wainwright came in from the bullpen, Allen. He was sprinting to the mound. He was one of the first players back out on the field for the Cardinals.
Well, you know what just happened in the dugout, and he knows what he has to do coming in from the bullpen.
Responsibility to make this thing hold up. 2-2. They're in the top of the 12th with 2 outs, and Craig Bijou up for Houston. And a runner at first base for the Astros. Pujols' home run measured at 425 feet.
Into Big Mac land.
I believe that's the second one that has landed up there. The other was Dan Uggla, Florida. Call, third strike. Coming up, the postgame show. With a preview, here's Pat Paris.
Don't forget to stick around right after the game for the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. We will bring you Tony La Russa's live post-game comments. We'll have an interview with the star of the game, and Mike Claiborne of the Big 550 joins me to take your phone calls. That and much more Cardinal coverage right after the game on MSR. Dan, Al, send it back over to you. See you then.
All right, should be a fun post-game show if the Cardinals can hold on. They lead it by 2 runs. 1 out, nobody on here in the ninth. Here's Jeff Blum. Scott Rowland in on the grass at third. First pitch, a strike. So Taguchi, the left fielder now. Out and right, Juan Encarnacion. The 0-1 to Blum in the dirt. The new catcher, too, is Gary Bennett.
Got Blum now, and then you got Josh Bard.
Strike two. Wainwright recorded the only save of his career back on May 19th at Kansas City. He went 2 2/3, so not like the
Right.
natural save situation that we see now. We move now to the bottom of the 12th with Pittsburgh. Those two teams played an 18-inning game earlier this year. Curveball, he got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Wainwright. And the Cardinals 1 out away from snapping the 7-game losing skid and reducing the magic number to at least 4. Well, that's nice to say.
Once you get that first win, they'll come in multiple bunches.
Here's Bard. Wainwright looks good thus far with the 2 outs recorded via the strikeout. First pitch, curveball, strike 1.
Not many have left tonight.
No.
Lou's still here. Whitey left.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another curveball, misses low and away.
Throwing a ton of curveballs in this inning to these left-handed batters.
One pitch. Fastball. 94 miles an hour, 2-1. Adam Wainwright, rookie season has been a very good one out of the bullpen for the Cardinals. He's turned into a situation where he now sits as the Redbirds closer.
And because of Izzy not knowing when he'll be available next year, he could be the closer next year, at least the first part of the season.
The 2-1 is hit out to right center, and San Diego still has a life. That's going to roll to the wall. And the tying run will come to the plate. It's Roberts.
Bennett will just slow him down a little bit. Albert will come over there, just kind of some words of encouragement.
If you're Bruce Bochy, you load up on the lefties against Wainwright. He's struggled against those lefties this year. Has one here with Roberts. Bruce Bochy will be second guest in bringing back line brink. 3rd consecutive game. A couple walks wind up costing the Padres if the Cardinals hold on.
You know, Dan, it's kind of that situation where you're trying to close it out and they really don't have a lot of options.
Just keep pushing with those guys, right?
I mean, Hoffman got the first day off, but he had pitched in 6 of 8 games. So now it's, 7 of 10. So you just have to, this time of year, everybody has to suck it up and do a little bit more.
A curveball, ground ball. Belliard there. Cardinals win it. Magic number is down to 4. And a sense of relief across the city of St. Louis. The losing streak is over. Updated now, the Astros dropped to 2 back. Could be still a game and a half depending on what they do. And the Reds, with their loss, 3.5 games back. Who else would have our play of the game? It's Albert Pujols. This is brought to you by Budweiser. The Bud play of the game, 1 swing of the bat. Pujols delivers. New career high in home runs and RBIs with 1 swing of the bat. Number 47 and 133 driven in by the potential MVP of the St. Louis Cardinals, Albert Pujols. The final out as Wainwright got the first 2 via the strikeout, then the double, and then Roberts the ground ball to second. Big win for the Cardinals. Magic number down to 4. 4-2 the final.